Hey everyone, welcome to this pick a card. You are on Existence Tarot, and my name is Existence. Here's the deal. We're going to be talking today about your next lover. I don't know what's going to come up in the reading. I am filming the intro right now. I may refilm the intro, but if I don't, you're knowing that this is the first intro we're filming. No idea what's coming through in the reading, except the fact that we are going to be finding out who your next lover is, the next person that you are going to be romantically interested in. This can also cover relationships where it is a friends with benefit situation. If you are looking for that, if that is something that is coming up, you will have to apply what fits for your situation. Well, let's get into the groups. So this is a pick a card reading. Each group or crystal in front of you is associated with the timestamp in the description box. You click that and it'll fast forward you to your reading. What crystal to pick? That's what we're going to do right now. I'll show you the crystals one by one. You can select which one you're most drawn to, and then we can get into the reading. I'll also give you a moment where you can pause the video. You can actually do this here. You can pause the video to see and meditate on which crystal you want to choose if you need more time or a little meditation exercise to do that. Now let's get into the crystals. For group one, we have green jade. This is your crystal, green jade for group one. Group two, we have the hemimorphite. The blue hemimorphite is for group two. And group three, we have the citrine. So this is actually a really cool one with like a white tip. Apparently the white tip citrines are really rare. I don't know. That's what I've been told. I was told that by the guy at the gym show. So yeah, so of course he told me that, because he's gonna try to sell me the citrine. Anyway, yeah, so you guys can select your crystal now. If you need to pause the video here, if you need that time, please do so. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and get started with group number one. Thank you again so much for being here. I really do appreciate you guys being here and watching my videos. It means the world. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in your pile. Okay, group one. Let's see when that lover's coming in. I know you probably didn't think I was going to be pulling win cards, but we want to see when this person's coming in. So your next lover, when are they coming in? Now remember, oh, okay. We have summer. Cool. This person's probably going to come in the summer, so maybe a couple months. I mean, I'm going to try to get this video up in April, but maybe in a couple months, this person's coming through. I do want to point out, too, for a lot of you, I'm getting the message, only for some of you, actually, I'm hearing, it's that you might have a lover right now, but this will be the next lover after this lover, something like that. But for others of you who are single, this is the next person coming in. They're most likely coming in this summer. Let's pull another timing card just to get a alternative time for those of you who are feeling like summer is not going to be, like if any of you are thinking right now, like, oh, it can't be summer. Summer's too soon. Oh, I'm going on vacation in summer. I don't want to meet someone on vacation. I want to meet someone local. Whatever the case may be, this is an alternative message for you to see when you're going to meet someone. And we have patience required. It's so funny because I feel like you guys watching this who don't want someone in the summer are like feeling like you are very patient, something like that. And I really do feel like this is representing your lover. Like, I feel like there's this feeling for those of you who are going to meet this person in the summer, which I feel like is really pretty much true for a lot of you. This is a timeless reading too, right? I do think that no matter what time it is, you will be meeting them in the summer. I like to associate the cards with specifically to the times I'm reading. So for example, say you're reading this in October and summer from our point in April is about a couple months away, like May, June, July. I would say that, since you're watching this in October, it would be, October, November, December, this person would be coming in winter, right? I really do feel for this reading, it's just summer for a lot of you. Like this is summer love. So whenever time you're watching this reading, this person is most likely coming in the summer. What I wanted to say about patience required, which I think is absolutely hilarious. If you are the types to prolong a connection or prolong the courting process of a connection, I feel like your partner is going to have to be really patient. Like, I feel like they might come to you later in the connection and be like, oh my gosh, like I really had to wait for you. Like you met me in the beginning of summer. Then you went on this long vacation and said, yeah, hold your breath until I get back. Whatever the case may be, this person had to wait for you. So this is not really a timing message for you guys. I feel like for those of you who are watching, you're the one that's impatient and waiting for a partner, this message could apply. is kind of what I'm seeing. But this is mostly for people, like most of the people watching this video, their partner's going to have to be the one that's patient, right? But for some of you, you will have to be the one that's being patient, but you will meet someone in the summer and they might go off on a vacation. They might go off on something and they might say, oh, hang tight. Like I'll be back in like a week or two. And then we can like start our little flirtation thing. So a lot of you, this could be someone that you're like dating, or like there's the promise of dating, and you might think to yourself like, yeah, right, this person is not coming back. Like this person is just blowing me off. But for a lot of you, that's not the case. This person is going to reach back out to you after this 2-week period. They are going to re-engage with you, is what I'm hearing. Okay, I want to get a core energy of who this person is with a crystal card. I'm obsessed with this deck, and I'm obsessed with reading these cards intuitively. Like, I really have been wanting to challenge myself as a reader lately. I don't know why I'm telling you guys this. Maybe you guys need to challenge yourself with something in your life. But I have crystal cards with, like, keywords, and I used to really rely on those. But lately, I'm just really enjoying these crystal cards without any keywords to them and just intuitively reading what I get from the crystals. So let's put one of those and see what this person's all about, what their vibe is. I'm hearing ability too. This person has an ability. And we have Moldavite. This person is odd, weird, or different, but very, very powerful. This person looks different from everyone else. This person is definitely someone who jumps into a situation. They're extremely unique. This person's giving Queen of Wands energy too. So if you have been getting readings lately that a Queen of Wands energy is coming into your life, that is this person. This person, with the Moldavite here, this person is so unique, strange, or different. They feel like an alien on Earth, but at the same time, they are so powerful, right? Moldavite energy is very powerful, very transformative. This person, when they touch upon you or you have an interaction with them, it changes you. It totally rearranges your worldview. It gets things set in motion. This is a very powerful lover. This is a very unique lover. This person is going to touch you in ways that you have never been touched before. That is emotionally and physically is what I'm hearing. This person has interesting, weird, unique ways of lovemaking, but that are also super adventurous and fun. Let's get another card here. I want to get one more oracle card and then we'll start pulling tarot cards. Let's see. Let's get one more oracle card out here. And we have death. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this person is rearranging your worldview of what love is. This person is rearranging what your standard is, what your benchmark is for relationships, for lovers, for romance. Transition to the next life means this person is marking a major turning point in your life. I mean, I think that this summer specifically, Uranus is moving into Gemini. This could be an energy of that. Like maybe Uranus is affecting something with Gemini for you guys. But overall, this is just a general inner energy of like changing everything in your life. With the death card here, this is kind of representative as a scythe. The symbol kind of reminds me of a scythe. And it's showing me that there's this feeling of harvesting everything that's come up to this point. You might have a bunch of stuff really wrapping itself up. So for example, a lot of you are graduating from college, or a lot of you are graduating from, I don't think I have too many people that are like in high school that watch my videos, but a lot of you are graduating, or you're ending a semester in school. That's a big pivotal moment. Maybe you had a big exam and you just aced it, or you just failed it, whatever the case may be. Whatever the case may be, you are finding yourself in a transition period from one state of life to the next. And this person is coming in to rearrange, to change, to get you to move on to that next area of life. Let's get some tarot cards. Man, I'm really happy for you guys. Although Moldavite's a very powerful energy. I actually don't own any Moldavite, but all the stories I hear about people who have it, it's like, wow, I touched it and I just like, literally like my life transformed. I bought a piece of Moldavite and everything got rearranged. So that's kind of how I feel this person is here for you. I'll pull these cards up a little bit closer here. Let's see. Empress reverse, please use protection if you guys are having sex with this person, especially if you do not want to get pregnant. I am hearing though, if this person is someone who you are interested in that way and you want to have a baby with, this person could be someone who you could have a very, there's like a fertility here to this connection. I'm hearing healthy baby, especially with Queen of Cups here. That's a very nurturing, motherly energy, especially in tarot. It's the one card besides the Six of Cups that has children in it, but the children are these cherubs that are like engraved on the Queen's throne. So it's one of those energies here of like motherhood, essentially, with the Queen of Cups. It's like the most nurturing kind of motherly energy. There could be an element of like caregiving in the connection romantically as well. But for the most part, I am just seeing in general, like this person is either a good nurturing motherly figure to you guys, or you're becoming a nurturing mothering figure around this person. Whatever the case may be, this person might be prepping you for motherhood. I do think with the Hermit here too, this will be a little bit at an odds with what you're going through. I think personally you're going to want to start nesting. This person's going to bring out your nesting instincts. This person's going to bring out the idea that you want to spend a lot of time at home, and like you might be buying like stocking up the house with groceries. Like I'm getting this feeling of like collecting things for the nest. You might actually be buying new home decor, stuff like that. But the thing is, life and this person is going to be pulling you out of that energy. So life is going to be sending you out towards people, to parties, to social gatherings, to events, because this person is meant to change your life, and it's not going to feel stagnant. I feel like you guys in general feel comfortable at home. You feel stagnant at home. You feel like there's a sense of security at home, and that's all well and dandy and great. But I do really feel like a lot of this change is going to happen outside the home. But expect a lot of this stuff to be like a collecting kind of thing. So for example, say you're like out at a party or something like that, but someone gives you like an album to listen to, and then you go home that night and you put the album on and you're really at peace in your own home environment listening to this album. There's a feeling of collecting the quote unquote nectar around you and bringing it back to home base. With Queen of Cups here, I really see like all these items you're collecting with the Queen of Cups here in the shell are really relevant to like your next stage of life. You might be going through a totally, transformation in the home environment. And I do think with Moldavite here, with this person who's changing all this stuff in you, they are going to start to notice things about you when you are alone. Like I see a lot of texting back and forth with this person, being alone at home and communicating them through like Instagram messages or texting or whatever like platforms you're on where there's like an instant direct messaging system. I really do feel like that's strong energy here for this connection. I don't think there's a lot of separation from this person. It feels very intimate and connected. I don't know if there's a lot of time away from this person. I think there's a lot of like closeness and continued closeness as far as you're going to know them and as you continue to know them until you get sick of them. For some of you, I don't know if you will get sick of them. I think this turns into marriage of some kind. Just because I have the Empress reverse and the Queen of Cups, they're both like mothering energies, right? The Empress talks about the idea of wanting children with this person. It talks about the idea of like imagining that. And the Queen of Cups is that like upright guarantee of like the outer reflecting the inner world in this particular situation, and it being a direct parallel of accuracy. So just keep that in mind. Like if you guys are not ready to have kids and you know that, or whatever the case may be, just make sure to use protection, that kind of thing. Yeah, you guys are probably good if you're already like established in something like that. But, some of you might just be ready. Like you might just be ready to have kids, and this could be a very fast-paced connection. Marriage could be significant in this connection, something along those lines. But yeah, let's get I'm going to roll some astro dice. I didn't expect to roll this reading, but I usually like to roll these initially, but I'm going to roll them a little bit later. We have the Sun, we have Sagittarius, and we have the first house. This person looks like an adventurer. Something about this person is they look like an adventurer. They look like someone who has been places, who has gone places. Even though they're very unique and they dress in such a unique style, they look like they've been places. They look like they've gone anywhere across the globe. I'm hearing Uranus in the first house for a lot of you, which would add that sense of unusualness to this person, but also be representative of their energy as far as like that sense of adventure. Uranus in the first house, Sun in Sagittarius, something along those lines. They could have I'm hearing any thing in the day chart. So like specifically Jupiter and the Sun could be in Sagittarius. And with the first house, I'm just getting maybe possibly Uranus in the first house, something like that. But overall, I'm definitely seeing this person's an adventurer. I see that they shine when they're traveling. So it's really interesting because I see this dynamic between both of you, where you guys are going to be the ones that are more nesting and at home and like home base, and this person's more of like the adventurer and traveler. Even if you feel like you're a traveler currently, there is a feeling that this person is going to bring out the nesting instinct in you, and I think a lot of you will be super shocked at who you are in like 5-10 years from now, because I feel like a lot of you are kind of that energy of like, I travel a lot. But I think part of it is just for the experiences. Part of it's just for the experiences and to bring back like treasures to your home. You might have some kind of thing with Cancerian or Capricornian energy where you're like coming back and bringing things to home base, you know? But what I'm seeing mainly is that this person likes to travel. They like to explore. They like to change. They like to activate. They like to touch upon the land of where they're going. Moldavite is actually from a meteor, right, that hit, and I think it landed in Russia or something. But it's from another world. So this person likes to go to other worlds. They're just like Moldavite. They like to go to other worlds and shine and show up and be that rare oddity that other people get to experience, you know? This is the type of person wherever they go, they're well received, especially places that are not in their home environment. So the best way I could describe this is this person could go to like, say they live in America and they go to Germany, right? And everyone like in Germany is like really receptive to them, or they really like them. Even you could have met this person and they probably could have come from another country to visit you. That's a possibility there. Doesn't have to be, but it could be a possibility. Yeah, they just look like a traveler. They look like a traveler. They're a shining star. This person is kind of like not really center of attention, as in they like things gravitate towards them, but there is a feeling here of like them showing up places and being that shining beacon of light to other people, and then having people like gravitate towards them. But they're not someone who like lives in one location and like psychically pulls people in towards them, right? There's different type of people in this way. Like for example, I would put myself in the opposite category of this person. For me, I tend to pull in people from other areas, and I don't know how I do this. It just happens to me that like other people from other countries or other places travel and move to where I live in my hometown, and then I end up meeting them and they become connections for me. But I tend to pull them in like a magnet, right? And I can do this over like great distances, right? And it's not as crazy as it sounds. This is just kind of what's happening to me. But this person is different in that way. Like they feel the call and they travel to places, and then they set up camp, and then they affect change. And this person is someone who likes to affect change over great distances. But I do see they always like to return home. They like to return home to you. There is a strong vibe here that like in the beginning stages of courting, you will be feeling that pull, that oscillation between wanting to nest, wanting to take things that you discover with this person and bring them back to home base. But also you're with this person, you're starting to date them. So I feel like you're going out to places with them. There could be a lot of intimate sexual moments in hotel rooms, right? Or traveling places, or like having a lot of hookups in locations that are not your home base, stuff like that. I feel like there's something missing. I want to pull one more card. I don't know what I want to pull though. This might be the end of the reading. I'm trying to figure out if there's something else here. There is something. I think I just need to overview the cards one more time and see what I'm seeing. If there's anything else here. Yeah, the numerology of Moldavite, 3 and 5. So 5, 3, that adds up to 8. This person's a powerhouse. 8, is that kind of as above, so below number that I see. So like people with an 8 energy, they can like make anything happen. It's like they literally are like, whatever I want. And then outside me, it's whatever it is. Like that's the kind of vibe here. And I think I mentioned that you guys are kind of in that energy here too. Maybe not. I can't tell. But the thing with them is they are definitely in that energy. 3 and 5 are both very exploratory numbers. Like they're very odd. They're odd number energies. They're very exploratory. 5 reminds me of like 5 fingers, 5 toes. All the extremities we use to move and maneuver our reality. This person has a beautiful way with maneuvering through their reality. I do think this person has some kind of mobility thing. about them. Like either they have some unique mode of transportation or they have a way of getting around places that's like odd or unusual. Like this person could have like say they like to travel a lot by plane, they have like frequent flyer miles, right? Say they travel a lot by bike. This is someone who's like really athletic and likes to go very long distances with their bike and go to different places on their bike, something like that. They might even have a weird mode of transportation with their car, or there's something unique about their mode of transportation. So for example, they have 4-wheel drive and they like to travel in places that are like off the beaten path and in the middle of nowhere. Or they have like a car that's like really fast or something like that. And they like to travel places and get there and back home by the time like, I don't know, like sunrise to sunset is giving me a vibe of like, when the sun comes up to the sun comes down, and when I'm back home, it's time to fool around. Sorry guys, that just like is coming through to me. This person, if they're the type of person who is like quick on their feet and they're witty and stuff, they might rhyme a lot in their communication, or they might say certain things that like they might rhyme accidentally and they might not realize it, right? Anyway, I'm going to end your guys' reading there. I hope you guys enjoyed the reading. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe if you feel like that. Personal reading link is in the description box. Catch you guys later. Bye. Hey, group 2. So this is your reading. Let's get into who is this lover of yours. Who is your next lover? All right. So I'm going to pull some time oracle cards first because I kind of want to see when they're coming in. When is this next lover energy coming in for you guys, coming up soon? I'm starting to feel out of breath, and it's reminding me of running a marathon, and it's reminding me that you guys have really put in the effort in love. With any of your past relationships, with looking for new relationships, with choosing, I'm hearing you guys watching this are the types that choose to be with someone. You're not the types to choose to be single. I feel a lot of you are very firm believers that it is your choice if you are single or not, something like that. I'm hearing free will comes in to a big component in this kind of situation. I don't know if you guys leave a lot up to fate when it comes to love interest, something like that. Okay, so let's get the timing. It's funny you guys are watching tarot videos. You guys might like tarot videos just to see the projection of things and then decide if you want to change it. You might actually be some of the rare few people who have total control over their destiny, like 100% control over what happens in their lives. I feel like we're all a little different in that regard. Some people are more prone to fate, more prone to like things just playing out and them having to kind of ride the roller coaster, and learning to surrender control is a part of them learning to enjoy the process and enjoy what life is throwing at them. But other people, I feel like you guys specifically, are types that kind of are using your free will mostly to change your destiny. So let's get a card just to see when this next person's most likely coming in. We have Stop Waiting, of course, and we have September. The cards are basically saying that probably by next September you will meet someone, but at the same time, there's this pink energy here with Stop Waiting. It's talking about maybe you guys are closed down in your heart space right now. There's a feeling of being closed down in your heart space, or being in a position where you are waiting for something to happen, or being in a position where you are choosing to wait for something to happen. You're saying, no, I don't really need love right now. Right now I'm choosing to be single because I want to be single. I am feeling if you guys do want to lean in towards a more faded aspect of your life, if you so choose. For some of you, you at least attribute fate to like 20% of your life. But with September here, you do have someone possibly coming in September that could be an option, right? We do have that coming through here. And we do have these pink flowers talking about how this person's heart is going to be very open to you. And I do feel if you guys choose to do so, your heart can be very open to them as well. So I want to get a crystal card to talk about who this person is and what they are like. Let's see, who is this individual? We have Sephiros Green Quartz. Very cool. This reminds me of growing in many different directions. I do think this person has a lot of different aspects about themselves. This person also gives me the vibe that's coming in as someone who gets a little conflicted because they have a lot of contradictory aspects in their life. That means that, like, for example, this person could be someone who, how would I put this? Like, it would be like someone liking two different football teams and really enjoying both football teams, players, and the camaraderie on each team, and really someone who's really deep in getting into each of those different teams. But then all of a sudden they have to watch them play on the same field together, and they're battling each other, or battling, that's not what it's called, right? Anyway, basically it's like two teams matched up, put up against each other, but they're basically on both sides, is kind of the vibe that I'm getting with this person. So this person could like things in life that are kind of contradictory to other things in life that they like. And so having those multiple interests or those multiple allegiances to different groups can kind of tear this person apart at times, is what I'm seeing. We have 5 here in the 0. So 5 is this feeling of exploration, right? And 0 is giving me the feeling of wholeness, of potentiality, of the feeling that anything could happen at any moment. I think the fact that this person is so kind of crazy adventurous, that's kind of the vibe they're giving me. They're so wild, they're so adventurous. They like to go, like, do whatever they want, whenever they want. This person likes to accumulate that full circle experience. They like to feel complete in their understanding of the world. This is the reason why they like so many different interests, so many different topics, so many different things that they're studying or learning. Here's the thing, the problem comes with this person when they start to realize that this part of life is incompatible with this other part of life. And they try to reconcile it, and maybe they fail. Maybe they fail, or they kind of feel like, you know, maybe they've wrestled with the ethical dilemma of, you know, why can't this part of life fit with this part of life? Why can't this person get along with this person? How come I like both of them and I'm so interested in both of them, but they don't really click when they meet each other? This person also might have very separate friend groups, but rarely mix those friend groups, because in their experience, these different friend groups conflicted like crazy, like absolutely crazy. And this person doesn't understand, like, well, I don't get it. Like, why would this friend group conflict with this group? But they both like me, so why can't they like each other? This is kind of the vibe of this person, and I'm hearing this is really takes its toll on this type of person. This person has really struggled a lot with that reconciliation, right? I don't think this person is as much as I feel like this person might feel or be put into the role as a diplomat just because they're around so many different groups of people, but this person is not necessarily a diplomat. The best way I can describe this person is they are someone who likes experience. They like understanding things. So rather than someone who like makes things better between two different groups of people, they're just meant to purely understand those two different groups of people. That is something that this person is learning at this time when you meet them. Yeah, this person is kind of giving me the vibe of someone who kind of wants to change their reality in a positive way, but at the same time is not quite sure of what to do or like what position to take, just because they're spread all over the place for the pure fact of just trying to understand everything and everyone. They're kind of understanding the world at this time and everything and everyone in it, but they really don't know how to reconcile those opposites. But they have to realize it's not their job to reconcile those opposites. It's their job to understand those positions that people have, and if people ask them, explain those positions to other people who are not a part of that group, right? So there are a lot of people who can't just really fully embrace another different type of group of people or a different way of being. And this is the type of person who's going to fully explain that group's perspective to you, but not necessarily like reconcile it, right? So for example, maybe you're the type watching this reading, I don't know if you are or not, but maybe this is something you'll want in your life at this time when September comes around. Maybe you guys are the type to be like, you know, I never understood why, you know, I'm just going to use like classical stereotypes that we see in like TV dramas, high school soaps, right? Like stuff like, you know, like I'm thinking random stuff like The Vampire Diaries or like Breakfast Club or something like that. Movies where there's like little tropes of characters in high school, right? Your person might be someone who's like really like a punk rock type of energy, or you might be a punk rock type of energy, and you're like, I really don't understand like the preppy group, or I really don't understand like the science nerds. I really don't understand the you know, the intellectuals. I don't understand like the, you know, it's like looking at different types of groups, right? And maybe you guys are the types that's like, you know what, you know who you are. Maybe you guys have a really solid identity, but you don't understand what the motivations are of different people around you, this person's going to easily understand all of those motivations of every single group that they've ever encountered or were in touch with. They're going to understand that. They're fully accepting of all those different motivations, but this person's not going to be the type to like get into an argument of why that group needs to reconcile with your group. Like, they definitely understand why things are separate. They understand why things are separate between the groups that they are. And maybe this person, like I said, has wrestled with diplomacy before, and I already said that, but there's this feeling of maybe they've tried to make this one big picture where everyone gets along. And I'm not saying there's people that can't do that. There are people that can do that are very diplomatic and are very good at bridging the gap between different groups. Like, you can think of like Gandhi as someone like that, but this person is not really like that. They're just meant to purely understand and explain. They're not necessarily meant to bridge groups together, right? That's a whole other skill that this person does not quite have. Let's see. I want to pull another card here. One of my cards that I made from when I was a child. Okay, let's see what card comes out. We have life. Oh, this is so interesting. Who got this recently? I think this came out in a personal reading I did recently. This is the full circle energy. We see the 5 and the 0 and the life. All life is sacred with the full circle energy here. Strong energy of coming full circle, of understanding the bigger picture, understanding the whole picture, understanding that every single person in the world is a sacred entity that deserves to be respected. This is the type of person who ultimately doesn't favor one group over another, right? They believe everyone deserves their own perspective. And even if they have personal opinions about different groups or perspectives, and maybe they don't click with a certain group, because everyone has personal preferences, right? This person might actually feel that like, this group still deserves to live or still deserves to exist. They feel like all groups, all preferences, all areas of life are sacred in this way. Every way of living is sacred. Whatever you choose to do, that way of living is sacred. This person definitely has a very live and let live kind of mindset. It's so funny that this reading pops up because I've been watching X-Men, right? Like, I had a craving to watch X-Men, and so I've been watching all the old X-Men, like the live action ones, with Halle Berry and who's the guy that plays Wolverine? Hugh Jackman, and what's the guy that plays Scott Summers? And anyway, all those people in the movies, the live action ones. And there's this whole idea of like, Magneto, and he has this us versus them mentality. And then Charles Xavier has this live and let live, kind of like, we can coexist. Basically like Charles Xavier's like, we can coexist. And Magneto's like, no, one has to dominate over the other, This person understands that it's not necessarily a war. It is about coexisting. It is about the fact that we can all live our own individual lives and be peaceful in that. Even if we don't integrate, we don't have to integrate necessarily, This person kind of realizes that sometimes the integration of the separate ideologies is what kind of causes the conflict in the first place. It's like, yeah, well, of course, if these two people with these very different ideologies come together, they're gonna be conflict. And I think this person knows that from experience, is what I'm seeing. It's like they've brought people together before and they did not click, and they learn quickly that they just have to kind of know that they are kind of a wandering person, and they can be a part of all these different groups and adapt to all these different ideologies without necessarily taking a stance. I think this person does have their own values. They do have their own stance. They have their preferences for what groups they want to be a part of, but that doesn't override their natural instinct to believe that everything on earth should exist as it exists, and all perspectives are valid, all different types of groups are valid, all ecosystems are valid. This person might be into environmental conservation, and if they're not right now, they might become so later down the line, specifically in protecting specific ecosystems, and having them protected from other ecosystems. Like, for example, this person might get really interested in like a specific ecosystem that's in Africa, and then making sure that there's no foreign species introduced into it from other countries, and keeping that ecosystem pure from that kind of like that kind of like contamination. This person might like to preserve groups and cultures and worlds that are like uniquely their own without having this kind of like, I don't know if it's like a cultural assimilation. What is that called, where you like adapt to something? but like you're merging it, right? Like this person's definitely not like, they're not like a colonizer, this is someone who like likes everyone to have their space and their culture and be able to feel free within their own sense of being and how that culture came about and manifested, that kind of stuff. So let's get some other cards about your next lover to talk about, because I'm talking a lot about their personality with these two cards. We talked about when they're coming in a little bit with the timing cards. Like I said, you guys are the ones who choose if you want to engage with this connection or you want this connection. For a lot of you, like maybe like 50% of you, you're watching this, you're like, so far they don't sound that great, or this person doesn't sound super interesting. Maybe I need someone who's more a little like, what's it called? Has their own opinion about things, something like that, and is more like loyal to one group or another. But then there's a lot of others of you out there that I'm feeling like you've gotten to a point in your own evolution where you realize that like, I'm more focused on understanding than actually choosing to change things, right? So for those of you watching who are more focused on just wanting to know, just wanting to experience and to know rather than having a particular mission or an agenda, I think this is the type of person who you would really enjoy, because they have a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience with how different people operate and how different people are and what their perspectives are and stuff like that. Let's get some tarot cards out on the table. Page of Wands reversed. We've got the Strength card upright, and we've got the Page of Cups. Cool. I think this person has a life calling, right? And there's a few things coming through here. We have Strength, we have the Wands, and the Cups energy here. This person, your next lover, there's a few different things coming through, right? First of all, with Wands and Cups energy, this is someone you're very romantically into. This is someone who could romantically have a lot of potential with. This person themselves at the Page of Cups here is very romantic. This person is very youthful. They have a very kind of like innocent sense to them. But at the same time, this person with the conch here, they have their own calling. They have a calling that they abide by, and they're really focused on this calling at the time that you meet them. They have a passion about life, and they have a specific thing that they do that they really believe in. Like I said, I think this person has their own beliefs. They have their own values. They're not just like a shell of a person. It's just that they might keep those separate from certain groups that they're a part of and then tell other groups about them, stuff like that. Just because this person wants to understand everything, it'd be like a secret agent, like going and getting information from a foreign country, something like that. But instead of like using that information for any kind of plan or attack or goal or something like that, it's just by the pure fact that they want the information, So really, instead of like a secret agent, this person is more like an anthropologist, right? They just want to study the different culture for the pure fact of like knowing what that culture is about, With Strength here, I think this person's extremely strong. I think that's physically, and I think as well as like psychologically, mentally, all that kind of stuff here. There's an aspect of taming the beast here where I really do think there's coming to a kind of consensus in the bedroom. With Page of Wands reversed, though, there might be some issues in intimacy is what I'm seeing at first with this person. I do think there's a sense of perfectionism either with them or you about like what you want in a physical sense out of a connection. And so that kind of perfectionism in either a physical or a sexual or a passionate sense is going to need to be worked through a little bit before there's kind of like an unblocking of this energy. But once it's unblocked with the Strength card here, there's this huge energy of sacral energy here with all the orange that's in this card. I think there's a lot of creativity between both of you. I think there's a lot of play. There's a lot of laughter. There's a lot of fun sexual experiences that you guys have on the horizon with each other. Wow. This is not an 18 plus reading, but I'm going to go ahead and allude to it, right? There's a guy holding a giant stick. There's something here about sexual activity in that regard. I'm not going to go into detail. I do not want to make this 18 plus, so I'm just going to leave it there. Yeah. There's a magical stick. There's stars on it and stuff. Okay, so I'll stop there. But yeah, so basically what I'm seeing here is there's this sense of like perfectionism that needs to get worked through with the physical component. And I think that will get worked through. It does feel like that. With Page of Wands here, this kind of is coming through as you guys, and this is coming through as them. This is the perfect marriage of like passion and romance is what I'm seeing. And with both the pages here, I feel like you guys are like, both like when you're exploring each other's bodies, it's like kids in a candy shop or something like that. It's very much like an innocent vibe. Like it's playful, it's innocent, it's fun. But at the same time, it's so interesting because I think both of you are very powerful people with the strength card here, very powerful, intense energies. And I do think ultimately with the strength card, there is a maturing aspect that you guys are both going to gain through this connection. I definitely think both of you have the sense of youthfulness about you, but there's a feeling that when you're together, you kind of come across as like a strong, elder, adult-like energy is what I'm seeing. And it might even be more of just like the sense of a strength. Like I think you guys will keep like a sense of your childlike natures, but there is a feeling of a strong sense of strength with both of you as far as your connection goes. You're really bridging the with being in love, like with using this person in a loving sense, like having them as a lover physically or romantically. You're bridging the distance between like impulsive, wild, animalistic urges and controlling those with a human touch and a sense of gentleness and a sense of compassion is what I'm seeing. I do see that one of you is more traditional in like your gender role is what I'm seeing. Okay, this is a message for some of you, but one of you is more traditional in your gender role, like more traditionally masculine or feminine. And I'm kind of seeing that as you guys watching this, where the partner that you have is more like blends those things more easily together. So for example, I think the person that you're talking about, just because they've been around to so many different cultures and places, their personality moves from between different aspects of masculine and feminine relatively easily. I think this person in general is pretty fluid. Their sexuality might be fluid, their gender might be fluid. I think their style and their clothing choice might also be fluid. This person has kind of a fluid nature to them in general. And I think you guys are more of the vibe of like, I'm a certain person and that's who I am and I'm just that and that's what I am. That kind of vibe. Like, I think you guys are more like one-dimensional in the sense of your identity. But I also think because you have such a strong identity, that's why this person is attracted to you. Okay, I want to do one more thing. I want to roll these astro dice and then we will wrap up the reading. We have Taurus, we have 5, and we have North Node. Let's see, Taurus, 5th house, and North Node. Yeah, I definitely think there's going to be some sexuality between both of you. 5th house is kind of making me think of that, some creativity. I think with 5th house energy, I've really been relating to it as like this house of joy, this house of expression and expansion, and just feeling comfortable and happy and safe. With the North Node here, I think this person is meant to be on your path. You're meant to be on their path. Like I said, it really is your guys' choice whether you want this connection to manifest or not. We've learned that at the beginning of the reading. There is this whole choice aspect to this connection on your guys' end. But this person is coming into your world. This person is coming into your being, your reality. It's just a matter of if you choose to want to take this person up. With Taurus, I feel like a lot of sensuality. Fixed energy is coming through. So I do think with the 5th house, North Node, and Taurus all combined as one message here, there is a strong element of having like very fixed sexual preferences in this connection and very fixed pleasure in this connection. I think you guys are going to repeat similar experiences over and over again, or you're going to put yourselves on a permanent path of happiness, pleasure, and joy. And I think this is a destined connection to bring you on that path, right? I think it's a destined connection to bring you into alignment with your own inner joy. And what does it mean to have a joy that can be repeatable, right? Not a joy that changes, not a joy that's different from one moment to the next, not something that makes you happy one day and miserable the next day. What's it like to sit in an energy of consistent pleasure and joy? And how can I learn to cope with that and deal with that? I think oftentimes sometimes we get, comfortable with pain. We get comfortable with ups and downs. We get comfortable with negativities. And we say, oh, well, this negative event has been in my life for so long. And if it goes away, sometimes that's uncomfortable. It's like the Stockholm syndrome, right? It's like if someone kept us captive for like 15 years and we've been stuck in this negative state of being, when we're finally out of it, you think immediately, be like, oh yes, finally positivity. I'm so ready for that. But oftentimes we go back to that being like thinking in our heads like, oh wait, I miss the pain. Oh, I miss the pain. That's kind of the vibe that you and this person are going to have a little bit when you're together. There could be some moments of separating just because the joy is so different than what both of you are used to. It's like, wow, okay, I'm used to like some pain in my life. I'm used to some kind of trauma. I'm used to some kind of torment. You know, why am I not having that right now? Why is this a fixed energy of joy and happiness? And I really do see this as this feeling of like backing out every once in a while when you guys are together, and this person maybe being distant a little bit or something like that, and then coming back into the connection. It's because the joy is so overwhelmingly good and so overwhelmingly consistent. Both of you are going to be missing the pain just a little bit. And that's kind of something that I think is going to be a little bit of a struggle coming into this, but at the same time, I think you both will get through it. And that's what the North Node means. It's a breaking point. It's a change. It's a growth opportunity, right? The North Node is a growth point. Your South Node might be someone who is in the particular context of this reading and the metaphor that I'm using that's attached to specific pain points and wants to kind of hold on to that kind of painful energy. But what I'm seeing here with this North Node here is you guys will eventually grow into an entity that absorbs, enjoys, and relishes in pleasure. Yeah, so I think I'm going to end your guys' reading here. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for choosing to watch this video. And yeah, you can like, comment, or subscribe if you feel like that. If you're curious about a personal reading, the link is in the description box below. With that said, I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for watching, and see ya later, alligator. Hello. Group 3, if you picked this citrine right over here, you can kind of see it. Let's see if we can get it looking pretty. They're kind of glowing a little bit, right? Okay, so let's get into your reading all about your next lover. Okay, let's see. So I'm going to pull some time oracle cards to see when this person is coming in next. Let's see. So far, beginning of the reading, I'm not getting many initial messages. Sometimes I get initial messages as I go into the reading. I'm not getting too many here. So let's just see, when is the person coming in? Let's see. We have in a few days. Whoa. You guys might be really popular, or you might already be seeing someone. But yeah, let's continue with the reading. Let's do one more timing card just to clarify. We have February. For a lot of you, you have met someone within the last 2 months or something like that, and you are currently seeing them, and this is the person that you are seeing in the next few days. This could also be someone that you actually have already met, but you're not yet in a loving connection with. So this could be someone that you're speaking to or dating, or have not really taken things to the next level yet with this person. But, you know, sex could be in the future. An intimate connection could be in the future. Maybe you guys are friends right now, but in the future there could be a more intimate relationship. And this person is still your next love interest, even though you already know them in person right now. I am getting a strong vibe that you probably do know this person right now. That's just kind of the instinct that's coming through in this reading. In a few days, I think you will really realize who this person is based on getting this reading today. For some of you getting this reading today, you're not going to be really aware of who this person is, but in a few days from now, say you're interacting with one of your friends that you met in February or around that time, you'll get a clear understanding of who this person is. But yeah, just in general with these timing messages, I want to pull them into a more broad spectrum and just say that this is someone you've probably already met. You've known them for about a month or two, and you're probably going to encounter an instinct with them in a few days. I'm seeing a bee, so I'm getting really distracted because there's like a bee or a wasp outside this window that I'm looking at, and it's like hovering around these trash cans, and it's making me think like This person's kind of like hovering around, waiting for their chance to like get involved, something like that. Like I definitely think this person is like sniffing you out or kind of waiting for their chance to make their move, something along those lines. But overall, that's what we got for the timing messages. Let's get a crystal card to talk about the personality of this person. What is this person like? What is the personality of this person? So group 3 can easily recognize this person. If not in today's reading, we hope the pieces click into place for them in a few days. They can really see who this person is. Amber, so interesting. This is going to be someone that feels like family, guys. Obviously, this is most likely not going to be a family member. But yeah, with Amber here, with the 3 here, this is someone who feels like family. This is someone who has the same sense of humor that you have with your family. Like if you and your family have a very specific sense of humor, this person has that same sense of humor with you and them. Amber is very much a card to me. Amber in general, to me, always represents ancestors and lightheartedness and joy and just the love and warmth that a close family can create. I do think this person knows your family. I think this person has probably met your parents. They've probably met any siblings that you have. If this is someone who's been in your life for a while and you're a single mom or a single dad, they have met your kids. They're pretty well acquainted with your kids at this point. This person does feel like a very close kind of connection to you guys, is what I'm seeing. Now, it might be one of those situations where you guys are like, whoa, that's like Jason or something, right? And it's like, I don't know if I like Jason. This is something that I'm seeing that like maybe if you guys have been single for a while and this person's in the picture, there might be a feeling later down the line of coming together with this person and making something more intimate and unified with you and this other person. This does feel like a very long-term kind of energy. It does feel very much like if this person is not someone who's going to become your lover in the next year or so, it's like someone who could definitely become more of an intimate connection in the next 5 or 10 years, something like that. I'm actually remembering right now, a friend of mine actually was friends with her husband for 17 years before they ever did anything intimate with each other. They were best friends for 17 years. Can you believe that? And then they decided we should just make this a thing. We're so close to each other. We love each other fully. Let's make this an intimate thing. Now they're both like wonderful parents with wonderful children. Both of them are very amazing people. But yeah, just something I want to bring up, that people can come together in so many different ways, shapes, and forms. You can start as a friend first, or you can start with someone being like family for a long period of time. I guess another good example of this would be like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen the show, The Summer I Turned Pretty. Is that what it's called? How I Turned Pretty in the Summer? No, The Summer I Turned Pretty. That's what it is. Okay. With Amber here, this kind of energy of that, like growing up with someone, having someone close and kind of connected like a family member, and then finally getting into kind of like a more intimate connection with someone. This gives like long-term friend vibes that becomes a lover at some point. So don't expect to meet someone who's like totally unfamiliar or someone, and I'm hearing a lot of you wouldn't like that anyway. You wouldn't like someone who feels like a stranger or someone that's coming in randomly that feels like a stranger you have to be intimate with. I feel like a lot of you are way more comfortable with getting intimate with someone who you really already know and you feel safe with. And that's something that's coming through here in this connection. I also think with the 3 here, very similar sense of humor. This person has the same sense of humor that your family does very strongly. That's an energy, that's a vibe here. 3 also makes me think of groups and small groups and specifically like kind of intimate gatherings of like friends. I think this person is someone that you will be able to be open with about your relationship with them with a small group of people, but there might even be a sense of secretiveness around bigger groups. Like, I don't know if this is the type of connection where you guys are going to be like public displays of affection in large groups of people, but maybe in intimate circles, there's this feeling of being close with this person, understanding them on a level where you can express your intimacy with each other around a certain circle of friends or close group of friends without any kind of like public criticism or anything like that. Okay, let's get I want to get one of these cards. These are cards I made up when I was 12. I always talk about, I should just call this the 12 deck, right? Because it's just I don't know what to call it yet. When I was in middle school, I called this the Nezawak, but it was like based on like the first 7 letters of the energy of this deck. But anyway, okay, so here's the card for you guys from this deck. We have health. So interesting. Okay, so fun fact, earlier today I drew a health sigil, and this is the Venom sigil. It was all to like make myself feel better and healthier. Because I believe stuff like this works. Anyway, so I put this on my left hand, and it made me feel better today. So with health here, I'm getting a few messages here. So first message I'm hearing and feeling and seeing is this person's going to make you feel better, look better, and feel healthier in general. We also have the amber energy, which is the orange card here, and the orange in the health. And that's really reiterating the point that I need to bring up the creativity a little bit more. The fertility, especially. I do think this person, you might have a chance of having children with this person, or getting creative with this person, or working on some specific project with this person. I think emotional energy is really resonant here. I normally don't see the color orange with emotions, but because of the sacral chakra and its more traditional associations with the emotional center of the body, I am seeing that here, specifically with how you both express emotions are compatible with one another. I'm being told this is really important because I feel like you guys have been with people who have either expressed rage or sadness or some kind of emotional frequency that didn't align with you guys. And you guys were really off-put by that emotional frequency. And it was really disturbing is what I'm hearing. So this person has the emotional frequency that you are most ready and willing to accept and incorporate into your own life. This person is also really easily receives your emotional frequencies. So that's just something I want to put out there, just to like have that out on the table so you guys are not like worried at all. I have a few friends who are like very uncomfortable when someone else like gets emotional around them, because, and I think it's something about, I think people who are more, what's the word for that? I can't think of the word. But people who have kind of like, maybe like a weakness around like emotions or something like that, like, because the people I'm thinking of are very empathetic. They feel for people, but they can't encounter the pain firsthand is what I'm seeing. So there's a feeling of being squeamish around the emotional pain of a situation. But yeah, point being, these emotions are going to coalesce beautifully with this person. And if you know who this person is, or you're going to figure out who this person is in the next few days, you're already understanding of this as well. There's a feeling of knowing this about this person, of already feeling comfortable with this person. I'm hearing for a lot of you, might not be the case for all of you, but I'm hearing for some of you, there is a feeling of, how do I put this? Wanting to open up when you feel like your emotions are connected with someone, and that's the safety level that you're feeling here. Okay, let's get some tarot cards out on the table. Let's get some tarot cards and see what else is coming through when it comes to this person and who is going to be your next lover. We have Six of Swords. We have Four of Cups reversed. And we have Ace of Cups. Really cool. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Ace of Pentacles. Sorry, I said Ace of Cups, but this is Ace of Pentacles, which is really interesting. I said Ace of Cups, and it is the Ace of Pentacles. This feels like a connection that is also on one hand a friendship and on one hand romantic. But I do think with the Ace of Pentacles here, it blooms out of a friendship. And I do think friendship is never going to be left behind. I feel like my group here, you really prioritize your friendships. And I think there's a nervousness here, a nervousness that, if I shift things or make things more into a romantic situation, it'll be less, like the friendship could deteriorate or fall apart in some way. That is not the case. You're going to learn in this connection that even if you add romance into a friendship, your friendship's still going to stand the test of time. It's not going to change the energy between you and that person. Things are going to still maintain and be the same. That's not how it is for everyone. I'm going to be honest. A lot of people, that's not how it is. A lot of people, they add a romantic element to a friendship and it just ruins it. But I'm hearing you guys are going to be safe in that department. I really feel like the friendship is so strong and it's going to stand the test of time. I'm hearing also with this card representing a yes energy, which aces to me always represent yes energies. This person's very affirming. They're very affirming in all of your growth, developments, and projects. This person also is very affirming to your security. That means this person is never going to put you in a situation where you feel unsafe, where you feel threatened, where you feel like your life is in danger, nothing like that. This person is going to make you feel safe. They're affirming your existence. This person is very strongly protective in a way where they are not invading that space. There's some people who are protective that kind of are more on the attack behavior of things is the best way to put it, where like if someone comes into your sphere, they're going to attack an outsider or something like that. This person's not like that. They're more preventative in the fact that they are never going to make a move to either attack you or attack someone else. They're more like a subtle, how do I put it? It's like a subtle protection, but a very, very effective one, right? I think this person has a way of keeping other people out in a way of like using boundaries and stuff. I'm feeling called to move on to the next message, so I'm going to do that. I'm sorry that was so abrupt talking about that thing, but I'm going to move on to the next message. With Six of Swords, this might come to you guys as a result of some kind of moment in therapy. So you guys might realize in therapy, like, okay, so also my air just turned off right before the therapy message. So there's a feeling here that when it comes to like choosing a therapist, that might be something that's really pivotal in your moment. In your life at this point in time, something like that. If you already have a trusted counselor or therapist, I'm hearing this counselor or therapist is going to provide invaluable insights when it comes to recognizing this person as someone that you love or cherish or care about. This is something that I think you guys have been working on for quite a while. For those of you who don't have a therapist, this is also a friend, someone in the same friend group as what I'm seeing that this person that becomes a lover is in. And this friend is actually kind of talking to you about the fact that why don't you ever date this person? Like you guys would be great. And you know, both of you and this person are kind of like, well, I don't know why we wouldn't. Maybe we just haven't done it, that kind of thing. So I do think with this person, there is some person who is counseling you through the situation. It's not quite the Hierophant energy, which is a matchmaker energy. It's not like someone's pairing you up with someone and it's like, oh, I think you'd be great with so-and-so. You guys should try and make it work. No one's really pushy in that department. No one's really pushing it. But I think with the Six of Swords, this is like through conversation and reflection, realizing like, yeah, you know what, I really do click with so-and-so. And like, yeah, I think that they would be a great father. And the therapist or the friend being like, now, why don't you think that would be, or this would be? And you going like, yeah, you know what? Like, I've never thought about it like that. But now that I am, like, it makes a lot of sense. It's like their feeling is like pulling down walls from your own psychology, like your own boundaries or limits with yourself in order to get you to see things in a more growing, expansive, and possibility-oriented way. So with the Four of Cups here, this is another thing that I'm seeing here. There's this feeling of kind of feeling like, I'm not sure why, but I keep turning the opportunities down for this person, especially when you get to the point with the Six of Swords energy here, with the therapist energy or the friend energy, whoever the counselor is that you're working with. With the Four of Cups here, there's this feeling of like, it's like a little scary at first. It's like, oh shoot, I know I kind of like them now. And like, I don't want this to change. So there's a feeling of turning down a lot of opportunities where you could strengthen or make this connection more intimate, which I'm telling you guys is totally natural. That's a total like fear-based response. And as humans, we have those and it's natural. They were there for us for a long time for survival. And it's important to honor those, right? I do think that there will be a moment where it feels very relaxed and natural, where you can engage with this person, you can branch out to them, and you can start having a more intimate connection with this person. Four of Cups just talks about this kind of boundary and this feeling of like not accepting opportunities when they present themselves is something that's more self-imposed. And it's just a card to remember that this is something to realize about yourself, that these things are more self-imposed. They're less being imposed from outside circumstances and more coming from within, from your own sense of self. Okay, let's see here. I want to pull some astro dice to wrap up this reading. I might look over things and see what else I see, but let's just roll the astro dice and see what's coming up next. Okay, we have 11th house, we have Jupiter, and we have Scorpio. So in my own understandings about astrology and stuff, I'm constantly learning and reading about this stuff and reading about and working on different ways to observe the houses, the planets, and the signs. Lately, I've been focusing on the planets, right? And so with Jupiter here, this is the one planet lately that has been such a mystery to me. The more I do in my charts and work on it in my charts, I realize that like it's not what it appears to be. Even though it appears to be this big, grand, great thing, right? Like Jupiter is supposed to be the greater benefic. It's supposed to expand things. It's supposed to be lucky. It's supposed to bring opportunity. It's supposed to increase things. The thing is with Jupiter right now, it's kind of this sense of mystery to me, and in my own personal life, I feel like everything is big, increased, strengthened, but I can't relate it to Jupiter in any way, shape, or form. So Jupiter to me is this mystery. So when it comes to this with the 11th house and Scorpio here, especially with Scorpio kind of being a sign of mystery as well, I think there's a lot of mysteriousness to this connection. I think there's a lot of kind of like energy where people are kind of looking at you and your connection in a way where they're like, is this really what it appears to be? There's a feeling here with this sense of mystery here that this is kind of with the Scorpio energy here of like expansion. There's another message coming through that I got to talk about that just hit me. I'll talk about that and then I'll go back to the Scorpio thing if I can remember. With Jupiter in the 11th house here, in traditional Hellenistic circles, the 11th house is the house of good spirit, and Jupiter finds its joy in the 11th house. So there is a strong compatibility here of just kind of like where you guys are with each other, you and this person. You are basically, and okay, so good spirit is also associated with friendships, whereas like the house of good luck is more associated with pleasure, joy, and romance and sexuality. The 11th house is a good spirit house. So it's very like less tangible and physical, and it's more like in the sense of spirit or immaterial. That is the vibe of your guys' soul with your next lover. There is a whole big vibe of like, even though the physicality, the sensuality is not necessarily apparent at first glance, the fact is this is a lover that goes beyond the physical. We have swords, cups, and pentacles energy here. It's leaving out the wands energy, which is the physical, which is the sex, which is the arousal, which is all that stuff, right? But I'm hearing you guys operate on a spiritual level with each other way more than you do a physical one, and that's okay, especially because you're starting with that and you're merging into the physical. That's kind of what I'm seeing here. It's starting with that and merging into the physical, right? With Ace of Pentacles and Six of Swords here, there could be a component of a little bit of dryness as you know this person, but as you slowly open up to opportunities of romance, as you turn this Four of Cups around to more of an upright cup energy, you're going to realize that there is a wetness to this connection. And I say dry because dry is representative of like air and earth and stuff. But like with cups, it's moisture, and heat is fire and wands and stuff. So there's a feeling of getting it kind of like, what do I want to say, lubricated? Sorry. I feel like you guys are also my types that are like slightly uncomfortable with like sexual terms and stuff like that. You can correct me if I'm wrong, if that some of you are not like that, but some of you are. So sorry about using the word lubricated, but it's true. When something's wet, it's like lubricated, it's moist, it's slick, it can move. It's like putting WD-40 on your tires, or a door hinge or something. It's not going to squeak anymore. It's going to be easy to move around, right? So there is this feeling that it just lessens the restrictions between both of you. Your spirits are already there. Your souls are already there. Your souls are in a bond. You know this person is a soulmate. Are they a romantic soulmate? Are they an intimate soulmate? Are they a soulmate you can have physical intimacy with? Yeah, eventually. Right now, I don't know. This is just a feeling of being comfortable and feeling comfortable with each other and letting that sit and being comfortable with that energy, right? With Scorpio here, I do think there is an element here of expanded sexuality. Eventually what's coming forth with Jupiter, 11th house in Scorpio, the sexuality is going to expand. And I actually think you will have very frequent sexual encounters when it comes down to it, right? We have the 3 here, which is an expansion or a group kind of energy. And we have Jupiter, which is an expansion, and Scorpio, which is kind of the very sexual sign. Yeah, I think that's about it. Let me keep looking. I want to see if there's anything else that I'm missing here. There's an energy with the counselor here, with this guy with the bow and arrows and the woman on the ship. There's an energy of this person, this friend, telling you to shoot your shot, telling you to take charge, telling you to make your move. And it's very interesting because with the pentacles and the swords here, your next love interest is coming through as like more of like a decision. It's like a pragmatic, practical decision. It's like, well, I haven't really found love in these other ways, and I'm expecting it to show up in these ways. But there's this thing of like asking yourself, why do I expect it to show up in these ways? Why is it important for me to have it show up in this way? Like, why am I trying to control what the universe is trying to send me? Why is this person not good enough? And then it's kind of like looking at things from a different angle and realizing, wow, they are good enough. Wow, this person is kind of what I really want, what I've been looking for the whole time. I do appreciate them in a way that a lover appreciates a spouse, and a spouse appreciates a lover, and two married people interact. And even though we're just friends, I can see myself coexisting with this person for a really long time. Even if it's not a long time, because I'm hearing for 10% of you, not to scare you guys or anything, but for 10% of you, this person is not going to be someone you're long-term with. For some of you watching this reading, this is someone, and this archetypal situation is going to play out, and you will separate from this person again, and you will find someone else to love and be romantic with that's not this person. Because this reading is about your next lover. It's not about, the one that's going to stay for forever. But for those 90% of you, 85% of you, to be more accurate, this person is someone who you are going to marry, or you're going to stick with for a very long time. But yeah, I just want to throw that out there, and not to like make you disheartened or anything like that. It's okay to get into an experience with someone and not know what the future holds. I mean, it's really legit impossible to know completely what the future holds. I mean, it's true with like tarot and the fact that we have psychics that exist and stuff like that. There are ways of knowing these things ahead of time, but at the same time, like, life is also meant to be experimented with and played with, and you're meant to kind of discover things on your own. You know what I'm seeing? You guys ultimately are more adventurers and discoverers as your soul expresses itself in this reality. I feel like you guys are a little bit of both. It's like I want to kind of know what's coming, but I also want to like let myself explore these possibilities in life and see what's going on. Yeah, especially with Jupiter here, that kind of strikes me as like an exploration card as well, or exploration planet. When you associate it with Pisces and Sagittarius being the fiery energy, it's like Jupiter wants to expand and explore. And then when you have it with Pisces, it's like, I want to kind of explore the inner worlds. It's like the dimensions of dreams and visions. And what's the best way to explore inwardly? It's through dreams. And basically when you go to sleep at night, you're dreaming and you're going to different lands and worlds and experiencing different things and learning lessons through these wanderings, right? So there is this feeling of exploration that is really relevant here, as well as knowing what's to come. Some people want to know. You guys are more explorers is kind of basically the thing I'm seeing. I want to look one more second over a lot of these things and just see what else is coming through. We have two flower symbolisms here, right? With the Ace of Pentacles being a flower and the February being a flower. I do feel like for most of you, this person, if you met them in February, this was the moment you kind of like decided to be friends with this person. And you said like, yeah, let's be friends. And it could have not happened just this past February, but any February situation where you were realizing, okay, in February, we really decided we were going to become friends, something like that. It's so funny. I think these are like leaves on a table, but I'm seeing this as like ocean water and like a shoreline. And it's really funny because the Four of Cups talks about this kind of offer. There will be an oscillating attempt for offers to come in to be with this person in a more romantic setting, right? There might be a one-on-one situation that pops up once or twice. And then there might be another situation that pops up where it's like, hey, maybe you can come over to my house and we'll do this. There's going to be situations that present themselves where you guys can have a more intimate, or it's going to offer up a more intimate setting. And like I said, remember guys, it's up to you. It's a natural fear response to like back out of these things. But there will be a moment where you're just going to be like, screw it. Like I'm feeling comfortable right now and I'm going to do it. So that's kind of how I see it playing out for you guys. That's who your next lover is going to be. If you like the reading, please like, comment, or subscribe. And if you want a personal reading, you can purchase that. There's a link in my description box below. With that said, I really enjoyed reading for you guys. It was a pleasure and honor reading for you. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good day.